The conference room hummed with the low buzz of colleagues chatting, but my attention snapped to my phone as it lit up with a call from Ethan. I slipped into the hallway, expecting his usual check-in. "How's the work trip? When are you back?" Instead, his voice cut through, sharp and smug. "I'm divorcing you," he said, almost gleeful. "Oh, and I sold the apartment. You'll need to find somewhere else to live. Good luck." My breath caught, the hallway spinning. The nerve, the cruelty, it was almost absurd. My grip tightened on the phone. "You sold the apartment?" I asked, forcing my voice to stay even. "Yeah," he said with a chuckle. "Samantha and I need the cash for our new life. She deserves better than that cramped place anyway." Samantha. The name sliced through me, confirming months of suspicions, late nights, vague work trips, the growing distance. But hearing him toss her name out like I was the outsider, that lit a fire in me. "Sounds great," I said, cool and controlled. No way was I letting him hear me break. "My name's Sophie Bennett, and until that call, I thought I'd married someone I could trust." Ethan and I had been together for 7 years, building a life I believed in. Our apartment, a cozy 2-bedroom in the heart of the city, was more than a home. It was a symbol of our shared dreams, or so I thought. But Ethan's betrayal wasn't just personal. It was a calculated move to strip me of everything I'd worked for. This is a story of betrayal, resilience, and reclaiming what's mine. Stay with me, because if you've ever been blindsided by someone you loved, you'll feel every moment of this, and the ending will show you what it means to rise above. Ethan and I had bought the apartment 3 years ago, pouring our savings into it. I'd spent countless hours making it ours, painting walls, hunting for the perfect rug, planting herbs on the balcony. It was my sanctuary, a testament to the life I thought we'd share. But looking back, there were signs I'd ignored. Ethan's dismissive attitude when I asked about our finances, his habit of brushing me off with a grin and a "don't worry about it." I'd chalked it up to his confidence, trusting he had our best interests at heart. Now I saw it for what it was: manipulation. He'd always assumed I'd stay quiet, that I'd let him steer the ship. That phone call changed everything. The rest of the day was a haze. I sat through presentations, nodding on cue, but my mind was elsewhere. Ethan thought he'd outplayed me, that he could sell my home and walk away with the profits. But he'd missed one critical detail. The apartment was in my name alone. Months ago, when we refinanced for a better rate, I'd had the deed transferred to me. Ethan, too lazy to read the paperwork, had signed off without a second thought. His carelessness was about to bite him. By the time I got to my hotel room, my shock had hardened into determination. I wasn't going to beg or cry. Ethan wanted a fight? I'd give him one he'd never forget. I called Mia, my lawyer and closest friend, and laid out the situation. "He sold the apartment?" she said, incredulous. "Does he not know he can't do that without your consent?" "Apparently not," I replied, a faint smile creeping in. "He thinks he's already spending the money with Samantha." Mia snorted. "He's in for a shock. The sale's invalid. You've got sole ownership, and if he's taken any money, he's looking at fraud." The word fraud sent a thrill through me. "What's our next move?" I asked. "We notify the buyer the sale's illegal," Mia said. "Then we send Ethan a letter spelling out the consequences. If he pushes back, we'll bury him in court." I hung up, a strange calm settling over me. Ethan thought he'd left me scrambling, but he'd just handed me the upper hand. The rest of the trip, I threw myself into work, compartmentalizing the hurt. Ethan's betrayal stung, but the thought of turning his arrogance against him fueled me. I pictured his smug face crumbling when he realized his plan had failed. By the time I boarded the flight home, I was ready to face him, to unravel his lies, to take back my life. This wasn't just about keeping the apartment. It was about proving I wasn't the naive pushover he thought I was. The flight gave me time to reflect. Ethan's audacity was staggering. He hadn't even tried to hide his affair, acting like I was a minor inconvenience in his grand new life. But instead of drowning in anger, I focused on strategy. When I landed, I called Mia. "I'm back," I said, grabbing my suitcase. What's next? The buyer's been notified, she said, all business. They're pissed at Ethan and ready to cooperate. I emailed him the letter this morning, lays out the illegal sale, your ownership, and the fraud risk. No response yet, but he's probably fuming. I smirked. Let him. He's got no moves left. The apartment felt strange when I walked. In, Ethan's jacket slung over a chair, his sneakers by the door, but the air was different, like the space knew change was coming. I set my bag down, bracing for the storm. That evening, Ethan burst in, face flushed, waving a printout of Mia's letter. What the hell is this, Sophie? He yelled. You're saying I can't sell the apartment? It's half mine. I crossed my arms, calm as stone. It's not, Ethan. The deed's been in my name for months. You can't sell what you don't own. His eyes widened, confusion morphing into rage. What are you talking about? I pulled the deed from a folder, holding it up. When we refinanced, I had it transferred to my name. You signed the papers, remember? Or did you just breeze through them like always? He froze, his mouth opening, then closing. You think you're so clever, he spat. This changes nothing. I made a deal, and you'll look like an idiot when it goes through. I didn't flinch. The sale's already void, Ethan. The buyer knows, and they're ready to sue if you don't return their money. And if you've spent any of it, you're in deeper trouble. His confidence wavered, eyes darting away. You're bluffing, he muttered. I know exactly what I'm doing, I said, stepping closer. You've treated me like I'm clueless for years, but I've been paying attention. Now you're facing the consequences. He paced, his voice rising. This is insane. You can't kick me out. Actually, I can, I said, voice steady. This is my apartment. I'm letting you stay for now, out of courtesy, but don't test me. I'm not going anywhere. Over the next few days, Ethan's bravado crumbled. He left voicemails, angry rants, then desperate pleas. You're ruining me, Sophie, one said. Can't we talk? I ignored them. Mia tied up loose ends. The buyer, furious, rescinded the sale, and she prepped divorce papers. You're in a strong position, she told me. Ethan's got no leverage. The fraud threat's enough to keep him in line. Her words hit deep, reminding me how much I'd let Ethan control our life. I'd ignored his arrogance, his dismissals, thinking it was easier to keep the peace. Now I saw what I'd lost, and what I was taking back. My best friend, Rachel, came over to help clear out Ethan's stuff. We boxed up his clothes, his tacky sports memorabilia, his oversized desk chair, piling them in the corner. How's he holding up? She asked, holding up a gaudy tie with a grin. Not great, I said, laughing. He thinks he can charm his way out, but I'm done. Good, she said, tossing the tie in. He doesn't deserve an inch of this place, or you. Her support grounded me. For years, I'd felt alone, carrying the weight of our marriage while Ethan took the credit. Now I had allies, and it made all the difference. The final blow came when Ethan showed up with Samantha. I was at the dining table, reviewing divorce papers when they strolled in like they owned the place. Samantha, all smug confidence, surveyed the apartment, arm looped through Ethan's. So this is where we'll be staying, she said, voice dripping with entitlement. I stood, heart pounding but resolve ironclad. No, I said, voice firm. This is where Ethan's been staying. You, Samantha, aren't staying here at all. Her smile faltered. Ethan's face reddened. What's this, Sophie? He snapped. I gestured around. This is my home. Not yours, not hers, and definitely not a crash pad for you to play house after betraying me. Samantha's eyes narrowed, but she stayed silent. Ethan exploded. You're being ridiculous. You can't do this. I held his gaze. What's ridiculous is you thinking you could sell my home, pocket the cash, and leave me with nothing. You're lucky I haven't pressed charges. Yet. Samantha's grip on her purse tightened. What's she talking about, Ethan? She demanded. You said you sold this place, that it was yours. He flinched, stammering. It's complicated, It's not. I cut in. Ethan tried to sell an apartment he doesn't own. The deed's in my name has been for months. He signed it over without reading the papers. The sale's void, and he's facing fraud if he doesn't return the buyer's money. Samantha's face drained of color. Fraud? She whispered, stepping back. You lied to me? Samantha, I can fix this, Ethan pleaded, but she wasn't listening. You said you had it handled, she snapped. I'm not getting dragged into this. She stormed out, heels clicking, leaving Ethan stunned. I couldn't hide my smile. Looks like you're on your own, I said, turning to him. Let's talk next steps. He sank onto the couch, head in his hands. Sophie, please, I messed up. Don't do this. I grabbed the divorce papers from the table, setting them in front of him. You did this, Ethan. These are the divorce papers. Sign them, and we can both move on. You've got until the end of the day to pack your things and leave. He stared. At the folder, voice barely a whisper. You hate me this much? Hate you? I gave a bitter laugh. I don't hate you. I pity you. You had a home, a partner who loved you, and you threw it away for your ego. I stood tall. Get your stuff and go. This is the last courtesy I'm giving you. He opened his mouth, then stopped, defeated. Fine, he muttered, grabbing his coat. He didn't look at me as he left, his steps heavy. I locked the door behind him, the new key cold in my hand. The silence was overwhelming, but it wasn't empty. It was freedom. The apartment felt alive again, free of Ethan's presence. His clutter, those framed jerseys, that ugly chair, was gone, leaving space for me. Rachel came over that night with pizza and wine. He's really gone? She asked, flopping onto the couch. Gone, I said, pouring glasses. Didn't even fight it, she raised her glass. To kicking ass and taking names. I laughed, clinking hers, to never letting anyone walk over me again. Over the next days, I reclaimed the apartment. I rearranged furniture, hung art I loved, added plants to the balcony. It wasn't just decor. It was making the space mine, not the version Ethan had shaped. Mia kept me updated. The buyer dropped fraud charges after getting their money back, and the divorce was progressing smoothly. Once Ethan signs, you're free, she said. That word, free, hit deep. It wasn't just about the divorce. It was about shedding years of doubt, of feeling small. Ethan tried reaching out, pathetic texts, half apologies. I made a mistake, one read. You're ruining me, Sophie, said another. I didn't respond. He'd made his bed. I wasn't cleaning up his mess. By week's end, the apartment was transformed, warm, inviting, me. Sitting on the couch with coffee, city lights sparkling outside, I reflected. Ethan's call had shattered me, but it also woke me up. I'd spent years accepting less than I deserved, but no more. I wasn't just saving my home. I was saving myself. A month later, everything was different. The apartment glowed with my touch. Bright curtains, cozy throws, my books on the shelves. The divorce was nearly final. Ethan signed without a fight, knowing he had no leverage. There was no dramatic showdown, just a quiet end that felt right. One evening, sorting papers, I found an old photo of us, smiling, young, full of hope. I lingered on it, remembering the good moments. But they were just that. Moments, drowned out by his betrayal. I tucked the photo away, not ready to toss it, but not needing it displayed. It was my past, not my future. Rachel and I celebrated the divorce at a rooftop bar, the city sprawling below. You're radiant, she said, raising her drink. Single life looks good, I grinned. It's not about being single, it's about being free. I'm not living by anyone else's rules. We toasted, and I felt pride swell. I'd faced betrayal and came out stronger, not just surviving, but thriving. The apartment was my haven, but I knew I wouldn't stay forever. One day I'd find a new place, untainted by Ethan's shadow. For now, I savored every moment in the home I'd fought for. That night, curled up with a book, peace enveloped me. Ethan's smug laugh from that call echoed faintly, but it didn't hurt. His arrogance had been his downfall. My strength had been my salvation. This wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the start of a life where I called the shots, where I chose joy. and for the first time in years, I was truly free.